So back to our conversation about circles. What you want to do though is you want to give lots and lots of examples of the circles. Again, talk about circles with the definitions. What is halfway through the circle? You wait for a response. Halfway through the circle, as we can see in this first case, is 3. What is all the way through the circle? Well, then that would be 6. What is the distance around the circle? That would be 6 pi, as you know. And then how big is a circle? How much space does it take up? That would be 3 times 3, 9 pi. Again, notice the words that I'm saying, okay? I do have a bit of a script. I also do a lot of pointing out and showing what I'm doing. For those that aren't getting the words right away, when I say halfway through the circle, I'm pointing right here, halfway through the circle. What's halfway through the circle? 5. What's all the way through the circle? I'm pointing out. What is all the way through the circle? 5 plus 5, 10. What is the distance around the circle? We know that is that diameter times pi, so that is 10 pi, distance around the circle. Then how big is the circle? How much space does it take up? 5 times 5 is 25 pi. Okay, great. Let's do the next one. What is halfway through the circle? 7, right. What is all the way through the circle then? 14, correct. Distance around the circle? Good, 14 pi. And then how big is that circle? How much space will it take up? That would be, when we're thinking of area, again, we want to think of the squares. So it's 7 squared, and that's how we get our 49 pi. Okay? This is what we want to be able to do for our circles. So continue. Again, lots of examples help. The more examples you do of this, the better off you're going to be. Then you're going to get to things where it's like, okay, you can do these and put in different things. And when you can do that, now you're really understanding. When I say different things, I mean the letter. I'll show you how that works. Let's first look at this one. Radius, diameter, circumference, area. What is halfway through the circle here? 6. All the way through the circle then would be 12. Distance around the circle, 12 pi. And how big is that circle? How much space will it take up? As you know, 36 pi. All right, now we get to a harder one. What is halfway through the circle in this case? As we can see, there's a letter there. We want to get them to say that letter. What is it? X. So halfway through the circle in this case is X. That's my radius is X. What is all the way through the circle then? This might take some time for students to figure out, but you want to think about that. If 6 went to 12, 5 went to 10, 7 went to 14, and 3 went to 6, what would X go to? We want them to get XX is what they might say, but we want to get into that place where they say, well, it's got to be 2X. That's right. It's 2 times X. What then is the distance around the circle? Well, then that would be the 2X pi. By now, they're starting to understand this pattern and knowing that this number to that number, they're just taking it and multiplying it times pi. We know pi is our 3.14. Okay, we'll talk about pi later on a different video. Now, the last one is the area. How big is this circle? How much space will it take up? Well, as we know, that should be our x squared pi. Great. Now we're beginning to understand these, right? When you can do it with the letter, now you really got it, okay? With the numbers, it's kind of easy, but the letters, now when you put those in, now you're getting to a point where the understanding is even increasing. When I have this halfway through the circle for this one, I already know halfway through the circle, I'm going to say, what is halfway through the circle? That is y. If y is halfway through the circle, all the way through the circle must be 2y. What is the distance around the circle? Well, we know that's got to be 2y pi. Okay, great. Then what would the area of the circle be? How much space will it take up? That would be our y squared pi. Okay, very good. Just the second video here on circles. There's much more to come. Thank you.